The women's changing rooms. First door on the left. You're welcome to come in. You would not want to miss this. Hosted by Jeanette and Danessa. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Women's Changing Room. I am Jeanette.
And I am Danessa. Welcome to the Women Changing Room, where all is stripped bare. We transverse the globe to empower and uplift all our women.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And today's episode, as it is Child's Month in Grenada, we'll be discussing everything children.
Yeah. Yep,
How exciting.
it is. So to give a little background as to Child Month here in Grenada, Child Month spans from the 1st to the 31st of October. Okay, so every year
Okay.
we celebrate Child's Month. And the schools and the Ministry of Education do a lot of activities that centers around children.
Okay.
And then they have a team, they have t-shirts, and they just come together to support the nation's children. So I'm just gonna read off this while this loud motorcycle pass. And then
Mhm.
we're gonna get into our discussion today.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so we have a theme that we usually use, which is love the child. That's the broad theme that is usually Child Month is centered around, and then we have sub themes. And for the past few years, we've been having like themes that are centered around protecting the child in terms of child abuse and everything. This year, they stuck with the said theme, but they put more to the theme because of the whole COVID situation. So it's the COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact children's physical health, social, and emotional well being, as well as their learning and educational development. In addition, child abuse remains a grave concern in Grenada. Considering these challenges, the Child Month Committee has decided that the theme for Child Month 2022 will remain Children's Care and Education Matter. Let children grow, glow, and flourish. Okay.
Wow. That's really good. That's excellent. That is excellent. They've got a whole committee team around this whole month dedicated to children, and I think it's excellent. Very, very good. And all the information, everything that you read out, it was so powerful. You know, oftentimes there are kids that gets neglected, and
Mm.
you know, all over the world, there's children that gets neglected. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to hear your kind of piece of the puzzle relating to children
Yes.
in Grenada, basically,
Mhm.
and contrasting, like compare and contrasting, like the difference um when it comes to like childcare, education, just the whole bringing up children. So yeah, would you like to shoot first?
Yeah, sure. So the focus with this is just to for quality education and care for all children,
Mm,
while promoting health and safety. So basically,
mm,
that's the focus um, for this year. And as we know, caring for children is not only given in a month, but it
yeah,
is always good to have a month
yeah.
dedicated or a day dedicated to different things. And that's what we have here in Grenada in terms of Child Month. Um, so basically, what we do is we have activities, and it's school wide.
Mm,
So no matter if you're a private or public school here in Grenada, you have activities, and then the Ministry of Education, the MOE, they
mm,
have activities that they have for the schools and people to have in general. So we
Okay.
have maybe walks where, you know, the schools would have park cards, you know, protect the child. We have that activities. I know the school that I used to work at, we had like games night, where we have people in the community, parents, family members, relatives come together and just interact and play and just have a fun time. I mean, these are things that you would do outside of, but it just adds more to
Yeah.
things. So it is usually a big thing. And then we do have a color. Before, when I was younger, you had like for child month, you have like you'll have a different t-shirt every year. But for the
Mm.
past few years, they've been stuck with burnt orange. I was gonna wear my
Yeah.
child t-shirt, but I forgot.
Aw, it would have been nice to
I
see. So
wasn't.
is it like same t-shirt, or do they have different designs, or is it just the same t-shirt?
So
Or
the MOE, the Ministry of Education, have different designs every year.
okay.
However, it is not limited to those designs. So different schools can
Mm.
add their designs, but the color must be burnt orange. So the
Okay.
school that I used to teach at, they would, because it's a Christian school, they would add
Mm.
Bible verse, they would put their logo, different schools would do different things, you know,
Mm.
so and some will just stick with what the Ministry of Education have. So it is
Okay.
not limited to
That's
um,
good.
yeah. So it
Yeah.
is good for the children. Um,
I know, I suppose they get all excited as well. It makes them feel special as well. We don't do anything like that here in the UK. We don't have a month dedicated or even a day really dedicated to children. Maybe it's something that should be implemented because it just does it makes them, I suppose, every child feel special.
mhm.
Um, you know,
Yeah.
and sometimes when you think about it, at home may not always be nice. So if they're celebrating like them at school, it'll be a nice little touch,
Mhm.
a nice
Yeah.
gesture.
Yeah, it adds, and it helps because we know
Mm,
while this is trying to target like all children, we know all children they're growing up differently, whether it's
yeah.
because of their social status, whether it be because of them, because everybody's different, you know.
Mm,
It so just having the ones that don't usually get that type of attention and then the month is there for them
mm,
and just have that school system in place for them, it helps a lot of them.
yeah,
um,
that's good.
so we had like different topics that we wanted to go on and to discuss for loving the child and just keeping children in mind and showing that we love them and we appreciate them. So we have the four main pillars. Um, Jeanette, where you
So,
going, girl? Where are you
sorry.
going?
I'm always
Yeah.
boring these days.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
That's okay. So we have the four main pillars where it's the physical, spiritual, mental, emotional.
Hmm.
So we know it is important, but we're gonna discuss it and we're just gonna go through the different things. So let's
Yeah.
start with physical well-being of the child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to physical, I
Mhm.
mean, where do we start?
Yeah.
From
So like when I think physical, I always
mm,
think like how they look.
mm,
And so that's the first aspect. Like you're sending your child to school, you have a child in the community, you know, being clean, well
mm,
taken care of, um, with clean clothes, nails, you know, looking presentable. Um, being out there. And then the other aspect that I usually think about for physical is protecting them physically, so that
Mm,
that abuse part, whether it be
mm,
physical or sexual,
mm.
protecting the child, and they're just innocent little ones that are growing up, and they didn't ask for all of these things. They just need the love and support. So whenever I think physical, I think protecting them and caring for them,
Yeah.
with how they are presented, yet
Mm.
protecting them, and in the sense of keeping your hands off them and not
Yeah.
harming them in any way.
Yeah. I mean, when I think in terms of the physical aspect, like you said, making sure that they're well groomed, going to school, going out on the road, like if for a girl, make sure her hair's always done neat. For a boy, cut neat, clean clothes as well. When they get of age, is so important to like make sure that they're looking after themselves as well, making sure teaching them how to wash themselves, brush their teeth, remaining clean and things like that. When you install it at such a young age, then it grows, it's a trickling effect that comes like second nature. They will know how to look after themselves growing up. Kids are so innocent. Children are so innocent and just so gullible. So it's always important as well to talk to them, but in a way, when it comes to the dangers out there, you know, strangers, even not just strangers, especially those within the home as well. And it's a lot in the Caribbean because it's often brushed under the carpet, and I'm talking about when they get physical and sexually abused. Um, it's just so important to talk to your child, and make them comfortable to come to you and let you know if there's anything going on with them. Don't let like they should never feel like they're scared to talk to mum because of an uncle or because of an auntie or something like that.
Mhm.
So it's important just to speak to them, let them know when the boundaries, like setting boundaries when it comes to people and stuff. And also, especially here, um, you get like a lot of within the school newsletters of people coming up to the children and offering them sweets which contains drugs and stuff. Yeah. So it's so important just to let them know, do not accept anything from strangers. When a child becomes like over here, when they come of an age where they may, when they're last year of school, then they may start of primary school, I mean. So that's about 10, 11 maybe,
Mhm.
going home by themselves, making them know, do not accept lifts from strangers, understanding their surrounding. If anyone stops to speak to them, do not stop, and yeah, it's just making them, wise, streetwise
Yeah.
as well. So
And it's
it's a
not
lot.
like some people would always be like, we're training them to be rude and not be social, but it's nothing like that, because these days you don't know who to trust,
Yeah,
and it's best that you keep them safe. You be
yeah,
kind, you be courteous, you use your polite words. Good morning, good
hmm,
afternoon, howdy, how do you do?
yeah,
Whatever, where you're from or whatever you do there, do it. But you don't know who to trust, and you need to keep your children safe. So it is important. Yes, Jeanette, I agree. It is important to educate them and let
mm,
them know the dangers that are out there
yeah,
versus trying to shelter them, and then things happen, and then you're like, okay, what, maybe if I had done this or that.
yeah,
No, we don't get caught in the what ifs, because
yes, yeah,
as
exactly.
as you heard in the thing that I read in the beginning, this is something that we continue to hear about in Grenada, whether it be
Mm,
physical or sexual, we continue to hear it. Okay. And as we say, people are different, they have children, They don't know how to care for the children. And we have people in the community that are different, but that probably got hurt when they were younger, and
Yeah.
if they're just passing it on, which
Mm.
is something that I can't seem to comprehend. Or probably I choose not to comprehend it. But it's out
Yeah.
there and it's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah. It
And it's
becomes, yeah.
something, yeah, and it's something
Yeah.
that I am passionate about, and I don't like when I hear children get hurt. I don't like when people get hurt in general, but just something
Mm.
about children. Like they're so innocent and then they have to
Yeah.
go through this. They didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, that's the
It's
physical. The physical.
yeah. It's true. I mean, like it comes like you said, like parents being abused and then the children, it comes like a vicious cycle. And some of the times as well, I hear a lot where some of the parents know that it's going on, like like mothers know that it's going on and they turned a blind eye to it.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? You
Yeah.
know, they're just as bad. They're worse. Well, can't say worse, but they're just as bad as
Mm-hmm.
the perpetrator of the person that's doing it. You
Yeah.
know, it's
And then
ridiculous.
probably they're trying to save face. I don't know, but it doesn't make sense. Like
But
your
yeah,
child is hurting and you're trying to save face.
and in the poorer community, it's almost like, oh well, they're giving me money. You're putting food on the table, so you have to accept. And that is not the way to be teaching your children at all. At all. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. No matter who it is, whether dad, uncle, neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
you know, whoever,
Yeah,
it's not on. It's not on. These poor children, poor children.
yeah, they don't deserve it. They don't. And there has been a lot
Hmm.
here in Grenada. While we have these things and we try to protect them, there have been a lot of incidents where children are being physically abused or sexually abused.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Sorry, I know I don't want to stick too much on the abuse thing, but it's just or the physical thing. It is a lot, and it just almost comes to like it'll be very good as well to look at the statistics of
Mm,
in Grenada of the people who are criminalized for this. You
mm,
know, how often are they sentenced or given a jail sentence,
mm,
or even does it even get to that stage? Do they even get arrested,
mm,
or does it even go to court? You
mm.
know, so it's very interesting to look into.
But it
Yeah,
is, it is. I would say though, like just like other places, we have things happening and it's not brought to the light because
yeah,
people, whether it be family members, decide, okay, we
yeah.
need to keep the shame
That's it. Yeah,
down or whatever it is. So there are a lot of things that are happening and that people don't know about. And we have
yeah,
things that are happening that people know about. So it has like, well, this one is, I don't know, because things in Grenada always for maybe the 2 weeks
yeah.
gonna be ooh, rah, rah, rah,
Hi.
people
Yeah, yeah,
talking, coverage. And then after
yeah.
that 2 weeks, it's like
Disappear off in there. Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
forget that this
Hmm.
happened or this is
Hmm.
happening because it had a young boy, right? Not too long ago, he was abused sexually by a neighbor, right?
Mm.
Parent found out, and it has been a big thing. Everybody's talking about it, right? But then I don't know if it's me or what, but I haven't heard anything like sentence
Yeah,
or this person being punished because for the longest they've been talking, it's not right. Yes, we know it's not right, but for me, I haven't heard anything about the person being punished or whatever.
yeah,
Um, and maybe I can look into it now, but I have just as how you're vocal and you're when it's in the moment and the first 2 weeks,
yeah,
so be vocal and say, okay, this person is behind bars or this
yeah,
person is paying a fine,
yeah.
so things like that.
I can't get the fine thing. I can't get the fine thing at all. Um, because they pay the fine, they're out, then they get the next victim, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't get that. They need like proper serious examples need to be made of these people who's doing these things, you know? Maybe if they'd made these proper examples, people wouldn't, you know, do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. We have less, I'll probably have less of it. It's
Yeah.
true. But yeah,
So,
it's happening. Yeah. It's it's something that I don't get.
it's just,
I agree. I
mhm.
agree. I think it's gonna help, but we need to start cranking down on things like that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And spiritual aspect.
So spiritual.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, I'm a Catholic. Okay, so born Catholic. So I know, as a baby, you go and get baptized. And then that's always a trickling effect. You do it for your child baptized. It's always good for you to, from a young age, make your child know whatever your faith is, introduce them to that faith and make them keep it strong and the importance of having a faith,
Mhm.
you know? So yeah, that's what I would say about that.
Yeah.
And practice it as well. It's good to get them to practice and
Mhm.
get involved in any way that they can with, like, if it's your church community or things like that.
Yeah. And just get the word in. Um,
Mm,
learn more, grow in the faith, understand certain things, I would say. So just to add with that, and it helps
yeah,
spiritually, it helps knowing that you have somebody who's there who's gonna love you unconditionally, no matter what. That person is
exactly.
gonna be there to hold you and to keep you, shelter you, and
Mm,
just knowing that, then that helps. So that spiritual aspect is important.
yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely.
And the good thing about it, well, for in Grenada, we do have government schools and we do have religious schools.
Yeah, like here.
So it helps whether you're a Catholic. Most
Mm,
people I know, they would try to push for their children to go into the Catholic schools,
yeah,
while
yeah.
some would just go into like any school
Any,
system, but it's
yeah,
there, so it helps. It helps.
yeah. I mean, for me, I went to a Catholic school, and I just think it's for my son. It was most important for him to go into a Catholic school,
Mhm.
and it really helps. It really helps and get. It's a community where they and a family's almost a family community, and
Mhm.
where they belong. Spiritually. So it's nice. It is nice. They pray. Obviously, in Catholic schools they pray. They you know.
They do the
So it's they do everything
yeah,
in terms of when it comes to the faith.
yeah. And it helps, as you said, it
Yeah,
helps. It goes a long way.
it
Like, because
does.
what you're getting home and you're getting it in school, that reinforcement is there.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's
Exactly.
another family or another unit that is there for you, looking out
Yeah.
for you. I should say, should be there for you
Mm,
and looking
yeah,
out for you.
that's true.
Yeah.
So true.
Mhm.
And then we have is that all for spiritual? Can
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, so then we got emotional.
Yeah. Um, emotions. Our emotions are can be whacked and all over the place. But I would say keeping the balance. Like we all know we go through different emotions and we go through our emotions throughout the day. Right? So
Mm,
just knowing that these emotions are there and just being able to cope with these emotions and not putting them on the back burner or being like, okay, this emotion is bad. I don't want it. Let me try everything that I can to get rid of it. I would say coping with these emotions help. And having you know that, okay, whenever these emotions arrive, then we try our best to do certain things instead of probably lashing out, you know?
Yeah.
So we're back to that educational aspect. And
Mm-hmm.
as we know, children, they need to be taught and they
Mm-hmm.
need to learn. So we taught the right way to how to handle their emotions and know that
Mm-hmm.
the emotions would be there.
Yeah,
You
it's true. I mean, like with kids,
know?
you know, sometimes it's hard for them to understand, especially at the different stages. That it's hard for them to understand all these emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they get angry. I mean, little children when they're babies, they'll get angry. They can't communicate properly. When they get to a certain other age, 7, 8, they may test the boundaries and their emotions and the way they would express themselves. Like they may want to shout, stomp, scream,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like you need to keep them in check.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it's at a certain age, you know, you have to keep them in check. Like, but whilst letting them know you understand, that's letting them know it's okay to get angry, but it's how, or to feel a certain emotion, but it's how you express it. That is the different aspects of teaching them how to deal with emotions,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And yeah, so it's always like I said, and mentally as well,
Yeah.
how they could cope with different emotions that they're going through. And it's always good as well to make your child feel comfortable to come and talk to you, express themselves, how they're feeling. You know, after school, it doesn't cost anything to take as you pick them up on that way home. How was your day? What made you happy? What made you sad? What was the highlight of your day?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that all that all helps when it comes to their emotion,
Yeah.
you know. And yeah, I think it's so important
It
because
is.
when you neglect that, how would they express
Mm-hmm.
themselves, if that makes sense? I hope
Yeah.
I'm I
Yeah.
hope I'm making sense of what I'm
It
saying. But
is.
yeah,
Yes.
how they're going to express
Mm-hmm.
themselves. I mean, you as a parent should be the one that they should be able to come and say, Mum, I had a bad day, such and such, you know, did this to me, or, you know, my friend's not my friend anymore because of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you speak to them and say to them, do you know, it's okay. Come tomorrow. It's a new day. You'll be friends again. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that reassurance
Yeah.
is so important. It's so important.
Yeah.
Just having that conversation with your child is really, really important, and helping them to know how to express themselves emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
the different ways of expressing themselves
Yeah. I would
without
agree.
the
Mm-hmm.
anger. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it
Yeah.
it helps giving them, and then we always get stuck, right? As
Mm,
adults, we will be like teaching, 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 letting them know this, this, and this. And yes, when we have emotions, let's not let the emotion get the best of us and let's think. But
mm,
then when it's us and then we act out, then they see us acting
yeah.
out, and it's like really.
Yeah.
So yes, while sometimes we cannot help, keep
Mm,
our emotions in check all the time,
mm,
teaching them and showing them, your mistakes and how you bounce back from it, but also being careful and
yeah.
yes, teaching them verbally, also
Mm-hmm.
showing them
Physically, yeah.
how you handle
Mm.
things too. It
It's
helps.
true. So true. So true. You know, kids, we're the ones that they look up to and they learn from. You know, they're like sponges. So if they see their parents act in a certain way, for sure they will end up acting
Mhm.
that way as well.
Yeah.
So like it's almost like as parents we need to think before like acting when it comes to our emotions because
Mhm.
of the little ones that's looking up to us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree. And then like not like cutting the emotional, but swerving into the mental too, because like what I thought about when you were just talking about, having the children speak and talk and engaging with them, that goes into the mental aspect,
Mm-hmm.
giving them a chance to voice. Let them tell you like what is happening, what went on in school, but you not getting upset with them, or showing them that, okay, I can't come and talk to mommy or daddy. I can't come talk to sister because every time I come, then they get upset with me. And it's like,
Mm,
okay, let me stay away from that. And then
yeah.
this doesn't help them mentally.
Yeah.
So
No.
being that guide, even if you're upset, but like coach them through it. And I know it's
Yeah.
easily said than done, but practice, practice, practice makes permanent.
It's true, because a lot of us, like, not us, but I mean, I don't want to say Caribbean or Black people, but some of us, we don't, like, not us, but some people, they don't listen. They just hear, oh, mama got into a fight today. Da, da, da. Hey, what do you mean? And then that's it.
And
They just
yeah.
hear, I got in fight today, and that is it. They
Mhm.
just go off on one. And then so what do you think? Like you said, the children, they're not gonna want to come and speak to you because they'll be like, well, she ain't gonna listen, she doesn't listen, he doesn't listen, so I can't speak to my parents. You
Mhm.
know, I think it's always good to let your child know, tell me. Even if you think I'm going to be angry or mad, I'd rather you come and tell me than keeping anything from me.
Yeah.
And then we could deal with it. You could serve the consequences,
Yeah.
but you tell me, you
Yeah.
know? And it's always, it's reassuring.
Yeah, and it's
It's always
expected.
good.
It's expected. Like, yes, I'm not saying that you're not gonna get a consequence, but
Mm,
us talking through it and
yes.
understanding why you're getting that consequence, or probably why something happened, or how
Mm,
can we, if that happened again, how can we have a better reaction, or
yeah.
coaching them and walking through it helps, like,
Yeah.
because I'm speaking from experience. It helps, like, because when I was younger,
Mm.
girl, I was not the easiest child to deal with. I was not the easiest child to deal with. In terms of emotions, I had a lot of
Mm,
emotions. And then I had
mm.
this thing where I always had to rebut, right? I always had to rebut. I still do it now. But like having my mom, like, and that's what I'm saying. It back then I was like, okay, mommy's just talking, whatever.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
listen. I'm an obedient child, but there's
Mm,
something about my emotions was not in check, and whatever. And
yeah,
she would always talk, and then she would always be like, we have similar um the way we act out, so we used to butt heads, but like just having that person there who wouldn't give up
yeah,
despite your
yeah,
bad attitude,
yeah,
of despite you doing this or whatever. So having that in my life helped me, you know.
yeah,
So while even, and that's me being the one who's stubborn and who's not
yeah.
showing my mom that, okay, what she's doing helping, but it helps.
Oh, yeah. It's so true. That's true. And it's so important as well to not just react or act on the negative behavior,
Mhm.
but react when it's something positive and they do good, you know, show them like, because if your child comes and they're like, oh, mum, I had a fight, and you start reacting, and oh, mum, the next day, mum, I got an award or a certificate for something, you're like, oh, did you? Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Celebrate the achievements as well. It helps them mentally.
Mhm.
So they've got that balance, so they know, okay, my mum, yes, when I'm mad, she will act this. When I'm do something negative, she'll act this way. But if I do something good, I know she'll be
Mhm.
proud and she would celebrate my achievements.
Yeah.
And I think it's so healthy.
Yeah,
It's so
mom and
healthy.
dad. I just have to
Mom and
say
dad.
that.
Yeah. Mom and dad. I'm always like mom, but yeah, mom
Yeah,
and dad,
yeah.
parents. You
Parents.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's only because it's the women's changing room, but yeah, mom and dad. Um, it's so important to celebrate your children, celebrate them when
Absolutely.
they're doing good.
Yeah. And,
Mm,
and with that, we have education and then we have the protection part. And we've been talking about educating and we've been talking about protecting the child.
yeah,
And just as we end the podcast on that, I would just say love the children. They're here, as we usually say, we didn't ask to be here,
yeah, exactly.
but just love them and protect them. And we know we have some naughty kids. We have naughty adults. So let's
Mm,
just protect them, educate them, and show them what we expect of them, so that they can in turn be wonderful parents, uplifting um, citizens of
yeah,
whatever it is that they are or go in life.
yeah, yeah. It's true. Just protect as much as you can. Keep their innocence as much as you can. You know, go along with whatever all the things go along with it. I don't know if you heard me, but
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because those imaginations, I tell
yeah, yeah,
you.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
go along with it all. You know, just make like to protect that innocence of them because
Mhm.
it's such a cruel world out there, and you know, it's sad for us children, especially black children.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, it's hard. It's so hard for them. They have to work harder than the white counterparts, you
Yeah.
know? So it's just preparing them, you know? And when I say preparing, it's not just about preparing them for the future, um, getting them into working, you know, reading, working harder. I mean,
Mhm.
not forcing them to work
Yeah.
hard, but you know what I mean? Just letting them know, like,
Yeah.
you reap what you sow, basically.
Exactly. And then, as you were saying, for our, Black
Mm,
children, and saying that it's harder for them, yes, it is harder for you because you had to, your ancestors and everybody had to endure such and such, and we're still in a world where people still think that you are below certain
mm,
individuals. So you now
mm,
have to work extra hard. So
mm,
there are a lot of adversities out there for our Black people.
yeah,
And then there are adversities out there for our little girls and our
yeah.
little boys.
Our little boys,
And
yeah.
there's so much, but we just need to educate them, let them know, hey, this is what is out there.
Mm,
Let us work together so you can achieve.
yeah, definitely. It's so true.
Mm.
I mean, there is like when they get older, we always think, you know, the influences and the things out there, but all we got to do is once they come from a good home and stuff,
Mhm.
that really helps.
It does. And I
That really
think,
helps.
and it's not like, oh, they came from a good home and they wouldn't dibble and dabble or won't
Yeah.
get into peer pressure. It's there, but
Mm,
not ridiculing them and thinking that they're less, helping and
mm,
uplifting them after. That's
yeah.
what it is. It will be good if they, the foundation that they got and they can push against all odds. It will
Yeah.
be great. However,
Mm,
we are not living in a perfect world or a perfect
no.
system. So helping them bounce back is always key too.
Yeah. So true. That is so true.
Mm.
So yeah, this was a very interesting. I mean, with anything surrounding kids would always
Mhm.
be an interesting topic
Mhm.
and a passion. Well, for me, a passionate topic.
Mhm.
You know, so
Yeah.
I
So
enjoyed it.
yeah, along with that, protect the child.
Mm,
Protect them physically, add to them mentally,
yeah,
just and be that guiding light for our children.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Children. Yeah. Protect the children, guys. And that, with that being said, with educating them, um, they're gonna be fine. Just keep going. And even be
Yeah.
like Grenadians, even if that's not your child, have the
Yeah,
community build that child
that's
too.
right. It takes a village.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, and I like that, I like that because oftentimes, like over here, not my child, not my business,
Mm.
basically. It's a lot of that. It's like today, for instance, I got on the bus today and a child, well, teenager, 14, got on the bus and she did like for on the bus we need an Oyster card, okay, to get on the bus. She didn't have it. It's normally free for kids. That's so they have the card list. So because she didn't have the card, the bus driver was like, "Oh, I'm not letting you on. I'm not letting you on." I was like, "Gosh, man." So I paid for her. I goes, "Look there. I paid for her. Let her go on." He's like, "Oh, you can't do that." I goes, "What's the problem? I've paid for her. Her fare has been paid. Drive the bus so people could get to their destination. Like, what is the big issue?" He
Mm.
just wanted, I don't understand it.
Okay, she
Like,
didn't
just
have it,
wanted to,
then she's
you
not
know,
allowed.
yeah, he just wanted to show some kind of authority. It's a 14-year-old child. For
Mm-hmm.
heaven's sake, he could have let her on. It was so early in the morning anyway.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And I'm saying this to say as well, I would do that because I would hope that someone would do it in return for my child,
Yeah.
you know? So,
You never know if she forgot at home or she just doesn't have one.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah, I think it's if you see a child that's in, needs some kind of help, it doesn't take much, us as adults, to help them.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah. Help our nation's children, people. And with that being said, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. We're coming back and coming back.
Thank you guys. As always, we enjoy delivering to you. So we hope that you enjoy listening to us.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you do because you wouldn't be coming back, would you?
Oh. Oh my gosh. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thank you for coming back, and thank you. When you do get other people to join on the podcast and everything, we appreciate each and every one of you.
Most definitely.
Yep.
And with that being said, I guess this is the end of this week's episode.
Yes, this is the end. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.